Hey everybody, Mazer here, and today I wanted to share some of the behind the scenes footage of this year's opening to our annual horror video game marathon. This is something we started last year with Silent Hill 2, and this year we decided to open up with Fatal Frame. Now, what we do is we start a live stream as normal, but then it gets interrupted by a horror video game, and it usually results in me fighting for my life and losing. Always ends with a nice game over screen, and then we start the video game marathon with our usual Halloween layovers. So without further ado, let's get to the behind the scenes footage of this year's video. So the first thing we had to do is create the ghost, and that's where my niece came in. My niece has been on a lot of my videos, especially when she was younger, doing 5-year-old reviews and so on, where I showcased a lot of video games to her when she was young. So I thought this would be a lot of fun to work with her again as my ghost girl. We put her in a costume my wife made for Halloween one year, an Alice in Wonderland costume, and with my very bad green screen technique, we had her do several little poses and walk cycles to play our ghost. All right, just keep going, keep going. All right, stop. So this actually helps that I can't see your legs because it makes you look more like you're floating. And that is really as far as I can zoom out. That's awful. Yeah, lean forward.
Do you want me to lean forward? Do you want and lean back like this? Like
yes.
Because
my
back is broken and I'm like
do the lean back.
Yeah, that's what
do the
I was
lean back.
thinking.
Do the lean back. You're fun.
So for that, Luke.
So you want to step closer to this edge
Hold on.
so we get more of you. Hot set. Literally, it's hot as hell in this room.
Okay.
All right, a little closer right here so we make sure you're all in the green. All right. All right, throw your hair. You gotta throw your hair further up over your face. Perfect. Back broken. Take one step backwards. You're out of the green screen. Right there. Now just yeah. You're out of the green. Katie, you're actually walking.
I know. I'm trying, but I can't see.
Right. One more step forward. Right there. Don't move. Now do it. All right. Now give me that front shot. The lean forward with the hands out. Take one step back so we keep you in the screen. All right. Shuffle. Take a step back. Your hand is getting out of the green. What? One tiny step forward. It wasn't until later on in our session that I realized that if I just turn my camera sideways, I can actually get a better shot without the walls cutting into the side of the frame. Like you could tell, I had very little space to work in with the small green screen I had and how bad my zoom was for my camera. But yeah, I think overall it still turned out pretty well. Promise. I forgot I could just record like this, sideways. All right, lean forward, jerk back. Lean forward, jerk back. Now jerk back harder this time. Lean forward, boom! Perfect. Now that we got the walk cycles out of the way, now I had to act against nothing. So the first thing I wanted to record was when I fell out of my desk and land on the floor. So right here, what you're seeing is me trying to make sure when I fall, I line up with the camera. I actually propped up the camera on 2 Wii's that I had in my closet. So I just put them on on the ground and hoisted my camera up there. And this is just me falling over and over and over again to make sure that I could fall, in frame every time. But my poor dog, he decided to make sure I was okay several times, and he kept getting in the way, so I had to kick him out of the room. Funny enough, the hardest thing about this whole thing was making sure my hat stayed on when I landed, and it really hurt. Like, I was falling at least 2 feet straight down onto the floor during these takes to try to make sure I got into frame and looked convincing before reaching over to grab my camera.
No! 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 Take two. Ow! I landed too hard, bud. Oh, shit, I don't even have the right shirt on. Damn it.
And now that we figured out where we had to fall, the next part was to actually act out the scene. And funny enough, I had no script. I ad-libbed the entirety of this video. I had a basic idea of what I wanted to do in the video, how I wanted to react, and I just went off of that. And yeah, this is when we actually started to do the takes for the video itself, when unfortunately my poor puppers and my cat decided to constantly check in on me, which resulted in me having to redo this take over and over, which was, yeah, even more falling onto my tailbone to get into frame properly. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Stay. No! No! What do you want? Get away from me! Get away from me! That was a good one. Not too far back, though. No! No! Stay away from me! What do you want? What do you want? No!
And then finally, we had to do several takes of me reaching for the camera. And this part was really funny because after we grabbed the camera, I had to pretend to shoot the ghost. So I kept making these weird grunting jerk back motions every time I used the camera, just so I knew when I was actually taking the photo, even though in reality you would never have to have recoil while taking a photo of a ghost.
Yeah! Take that! Take it!
Finally, we had to film my death scene, which was probably the most difficult portion of this whole shoot. My wife helped out by standing on top of a footstool so she could get the overhead shot that I was hoping for. The problem is my green screen was very small, so we had to spread it out as best as we can, and I had to do several shots where I had to be curled up as tight as possible to fit on that screen without body parts sticking out. What's really funny though is I completely forgot to put my shoes on, and I didn't realize that till after I finished shooting.
Okay. That's all I needed.
With the live action stuff out of the way, now we had to fake a stream. I pulled up a Legend of Zelda randomizer and I played a few minutes of that while pretty much acting as if I usually do during a live stream. I am pretending to talk to my audience, asking how they are, and narrating, my gaming experience like I always do. Now, the reason I do this is I want people to think they're watching a normal stream, only for it to be interrupted by the horror aspect to announce the horror game marathon has begun. So this is kind of like a big, holy crap, I thought this was something normal, and then boom, big scary thing happens. Kind of just like a fun little diversion, a little red herring to keep things interesting. Damn it. Damn it! Are you freaking serious? There we go. So the hardest thing about this is deciding how long I want to play this game before jumping into the horror game. So I decided this time around we'll just do 3 minutes. I think I did 7 minutes last year. So I was like, no, 3 minutes. And I came up with a timestamp in my mind. And when the 3-minute mark kicks in, that is when I knew I wanted to start the horror aspect of our live stream. So for this one in particular, I used it for the medallion. I knew when I picked up this treasure chest with the medallion in it, you'll see me freeze in the webcam. And that's just me holding the pose because I knew this is the spot where I wanted the whole video to start glitching out. And that's when I manipulated my audio to repeat itself and get weird. And then we cut to black with the loading transition. Guys, what's going on? Hold on. We have a problem. We have a huge problem here. We just lost video. We lost video. Hold on. I need to Everyone stay in chat. I need to figure this out. So this is the part of the video where I jump out of my chair. First, I'm recording the audio of me telling everybody, oh my God, the stream crashed, let's fix it. And then we cut to my full webcam. And if you notice, it's not my usual angle. I actually put it on a shelf this time on my desk so that you could see that back room that leads into my kitchen where my niece would end up appearing. Now, the funny part is when I freak out and throw my headphones against the computer, it knocked my webcam completely off, which was not the intention. I just wanted to jump out of my chair, but this shot was so good when my webcam fell that I ended up using it in the final cut of the video. And I thought that turned out much better than just leaping out of my chair out of frame. Like crap. Okay, we're back. We're back. We got visual. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. This is my webcam. I use this for... Jesus! After we got everything recorded, now we just had to put everything together. I am currently using DaVinci Resolve 18, and this is a fantastically powerful program that I cannot believe is free. The problem is I only have very amateurish level editing when it comes to this software, so I had to watch a ton of tutorials, especially when it came down to the actual special effects like adding masks, green screen, film grain, glitching effects. I had to study so many tutorials on how to understand the exact way DaVinci Resolve works with its whole Fusion program. But, you know, after probably about a good hour and a half of watching various tutorials and trial and error, I was finally able to make everything click to where all of our special effects kicked in the way I was hoping for. So, hooray for me! And with all the effects and editing finished, the last thing we needed to do was add sound effects, because I realized just on its own it wasn't very dynamic and it didn't seem very Fatal Framey. So I was able to find an internet archive that had every sound effect from Fatal Frame 2, which we used for like when my niece is screaming or giggling, the heartbeat, the background eerie noises, the camera clicking, and the flash sound effect. You know, we were lucky enough to find an archive with all those Fatal Frame sound effects, and then we used some of the actual in-game music to put everything together. And there you have it. After hours of trial and error and tutorials and just basically trying to figure out what the heck I was doing, I was able to make my little vision come true on the screen. And while I know this might not get that big or even, you know, that many views, I don't care, because this was a project I wanted to do and we actually got it finished in the way that I wanted it to get finished. And I love just how absolutely cheap it feels too. It's like a really old, bad amateur B movie by somebody like in the 90s or just learning like Adobe or something. I don't know. It was just a lot of fun making this, and I really enjoyed hanging out with my niece and adding her back to our videos and everything and having a good time and getting my wife involved and everything. So this was a lot of fun, and I hope we can do this again next year. You know, it all depends on how much time I have before we do our annual horror marathon. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys had fun watching it and watching this little documentary. So I am Mazer. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.